What if everything you have been waiting for is not waiting for you to be ready? What if it is waiting for you to be disciplined? Think about that for a moment. You have told yourself so many times that you would start tomorrow. You have promised yourself that next week you would finally change. You have whispered to yourself on sleepless nights that soon things would be different. But here you are, still waiting, still hoping, still stuck in the same cycle of wanting more but settling for less. This is not because you are weak. This is not because you lack desire. This is because you have been approaching change as if it requires a miracle rather than a decision. The miracle you are looking for is not going to arrive while you sit passively. The miracle is already inside you, waiting to be activated by one thing: discipline. But let us be honest about something. When you hear the word discipline, what do you feel? Do you feel a tightening in your chest? Do you feel like someone is about to lecture you about what you should be doing? Do you imagine a grim existence of deprivation and grinding effort? Many people hear the word discipline and immediately think of punishment. They think of a strict parent or a demanding boss. They think of cold showers and bland food and endless hours of struggle. But that is a misunderstanding of what discipline truly is. True discipline is not punishment. It is not self-flagellation. It is not about being hard on yourself for the sake of being hard. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is the way you honor the person you are becoming. It is the bridge between your current self and your future self. When you choose discipline, you are essentially saying, "I matter enough to keep my word to myself." You have probably broken more promises to yourself than you have ever broken to anyone else. How many times have you said you would wake up early, and then you hit the snooze button? How many times have you said you would start that exercise routine, and then you found a reason to skip it? How many times have you said you would save money, and then you spent it on something you did not even need? How many times have you said you would read more, learn more, grow more, and then you reached for your phone instead? The pattern is familiar because it is human. You are not alone in this struggle. Almost every adult has experienced the quiet shame of broken self-promises. But here is the question that matters. What if you stopped negotiating with yourself for just 30 days? What if you decided that for 1 month, your word to yourself would become as binding as your word to anyone else? What if you gave yourself 30 honest days of discipline and simply watched what happened? Think about what has been delayed in your life. Not because of external circumstances, not because of bad luck, not because of other people, but because you kept telling yourself you would do it later. Later became next week became next month became next year, and here you are, looking back at years of later. Perhaps you are in your 40s, and you realize you have been saying you will get fit since your 20s. Perhaps you are in your 50s and you have been telling yourself you will start that business since your 30s. Perhaps you are in your 60s and you have been promising yourself you will travel or learn something new or reconnect with old friends for decades. This is not a judgment, it is an invitation. An invitation to recognize that the cost of postponement is not just lost time, it is lost confidence, it is lost trust in yourself. It is the slow erosion of your belief that you can actually follow through on anything. That erosion is more damaging than any failure you have ever experienced. Because a failure can teach you something, but a lifetime of broken promises to yourself teaches you one thing: you cannot be trusted. And that belief becomes the foundation of everything you do. But what if you change that belief in 30 days? 30 days is not a lifetime. 30 days is not even a season. 30 days is a single month, a month that you have lived many times before, a month that will pass regardless of what you do with it. The question is not whether you have enough time, the question is whether you are willing to use the time that is already passing. Imagine this. You begin a 30-day experiment. You are not trying to fix every problem in your life. You are not trying to become a completely different person overnight. You are simply choosing a few commitments that matter to you. And you are going to honor those commitments for 30 days. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but honestly, you will show up, you will do what you said you would do, and when you stumble, you will get back up and continue. That is the entire experiment. No magic, No secret formula. Just 30 days of keeping your word to yourself. Let us talk about what happens in those 30 days. You might think the changes will be all external. You might think you will lose weight, or make money, or finish a project. Those things might happen. But the deeper transformation is something else entirely. The deeper transformation is the moment you begin to trust yourself again. The moment you realize that you are actually capable of following through. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone who always quits and start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. That shift is everything. It changes how you approach every challenge. It changes how you speak to yourself. It changes how you move through the world. When you trust yourself, you become dangerous to your old limitations. You become capable of things you never thought possible. Not because you gained superpowers, but because you finally stopped standing in your own way. Let us get into the experience of these 30 days. The first 7 days are often the hardest. You are breaking a pattern that has been with you for years. Your body and mind are used to operating in a certain way. They are used to seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort. So when you suddenly decide to wake up earlier, or exercise, or read, or work on your goals, there is resistance. This resistance is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is right. It means you are challenging your old self. It means you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. Your mind will try to convince you to go back. It will tell you that you are tired. It will tell you that you deserve a break. It will tell you that you can start tomorrow. You will hear these voices, and in the first week, they will be loud, but you do not have to silence them. You just have to act in spite of them. That is discipline, not the absence of resistance, the presence of action in the face of resistance. You might miss a day in that first week. You might sleep through your alarm. You might skip your workout. You might procrastinate on your most important task. When that happens, and it probably will, what do? Do you tell yourself that you have ruined everything and you might as well give up? Do you let one missed day become a missed week? That is the trap that catches most people. They take a small failure and they magnify it into a reason to quit entirely. They say, I already missed one day, so what is the point? But that is a dangerous story you are telling yourself. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to be persistent. You can miss a day and still complete the 30-day challenge. You can miss 2 days and still complete it. The only way you fail is if you decide to stop showing up entirely. So if you miss a day, forgive yourself quickly. And then, the very next day, show up again. That is the secret. It is not never missing. It is always returning. By the second week, something begins to shift. The resistance does not disappear, but it becomes quieter. The actions you committed to are starting to feel more normal. You are no longer fighting yourself every single morning. You are beginning to establish a rhythm. The motivation you felt on day 1 might have faded by now. That is natural. Motivation is a spark. It can start a fire, but it cannot keep it burning indefinitely. What keeps the fire burning is discipline. Discipline is the routine you build. Discipline is the structure you create. Discipline is showing up even when you do not feel like it. And here is something you may not have realized. The act of showing up when you do not feel like it is actually more powerful than showing up when you are motivated. Because when you act without motivation, you prove to yourself that you are not a slave to your feelings. You prove that you are in control of your actions. That is a profound realization. It means that you can do hard things even when you do not want to. It means that your will is stronger than your mood. During the second week, you might notice something interesting. The people around you might not understand what you are doing. They might question your new habits. They might even make jokes or try to pull you back into old patterns. This is not because they do not care about you. It is because your change makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of their own stagnation. It challenges their belief that change is impossible. Do not let their reactions discourage you. You are not doing this for them. You are doing this for yourself. And when they see you continuing despite their comments, something else happens. They begin to respect you. They begin to see you differently. They begin to wonder if maybe they could do something similar. Your discipline becomes contagious without you even trying. Now let us talk about the third week. This is often the most powerful week of the 30 days. By now you have accumulated evidence. Evidence that you can keep promises to yourself. Evidence that you are not just someone who talks about change, but someone who actually walks toward it. Every day that you show up is a deposit in your self-trust account. I said I would walk, and I walked. I said I would read, and I read. I said I would stop wasting my evenings on distractions, and I stopped. These may seem like small things, but they are not small. Each one is a brick in the foundation of a new identity. You are not just doing new things, you are becoming someone new. Someone who does those things naturally. Someone who does not have to negotiate with themselves every time. Someone who simply acts because acting is who they are. This is where the emotional shift happens. You begin to realize that you are not just changing habits, you are changing how you see yourself. For years you may have carried the identity of someone who starts things but never finishes. Someone who has potential but never realizes it. Someone who always says tomorrow but never today. That identity has been costing you more than you know. It has been costing you your confidence. It has been costing you your peace. It has been costing you your belief that you can shape your own life. But in the third week, you start to question that old identity. You look at the evidence. You have been showing up for 15, 16, 17 days in a row. That is not nothing. That is proof. Proof that the old story you told yourself was not true. You are not someone who always quits. You are someone who is capable of consistency. You are someone who can follow through. You are someone who can be trusted. And here is the part that might surprise you. The goal of these 30 days is not to become a machine of productivity. It is not to squeeze every ounce of value out of every moment. The goal is to restore your relationship with yourself. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build self-respect. And when you have self-respect, you stop tolerating things that diminish you. You stop staying in situations that drain you. You stop wasting time on people and activities that do not serve you. You stop living passively and start living intentionally. That is a massive shift. It is not about doing more. It is about being more present, more engaged, more alive. When you respect yourself, you protect your time, you guard your energy, you make choices that align with your values. You live from a place of integrity rather than a place of reaction. By the fourth week, you are approaching the finish line of the 30 days. But something interesting has happened. You are not thinking about the finish line as much anymore. The habits you started are becoming part of your daily life. They no longer require the same level of effort. They no longer require you to constantly psych yourself up. They are becoming automatic. They are becoming you. That is the most important change of all. When something becomes part of your identity, it no longer requires willpower. You do not have to force yourself to brush your teeth. You just do it. You do not have to convince yourself to put on shoes before you leave the house. You just do it. Similarly, when discipline becomes part of your identity, you no longer have to fight yourself. You just act. You just show up. You just do what needs to be done because that is who you are. What will you have gained after 30 days? You might have gained physical fitness. You might have gained financial progress. You might have gained knowledge. You might have completed a project that has been haunting you for years. But the greatest gain is something else. It is the return of your self-trust. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. It is the peace that comes from no longer being at war with your own promises. There is a deep satisfaction in looking back at the end of the month and saying, I did what I said I would do. That is a feeling that cannot be bought. That is a feeling that cannot be given to you by anyone else. That is a feeling you must earn. And you earn it one day at a time, one choice at a time, one kept promise at a time. But let us address something important. You might be thinking that 30 days is not enough to make a real difference. You might be thinking that your problems are too big, your habits are too entrenched, your situation is too complicated. You might be thinking that 30 days is a nice idea, but it is not going to solve the deep issues in your life. And you are right. 30 days will not solve everything. It will not erase years of struggle. It will not heal all your wounds. It will not fix your relationships, or your finances, or your health overnight. That is not the point. The point is that 30 days can change the direction of your life. Think of it like turning a ship. A large ship cannot turn on a dime. It takes time to change course, but the turning begins with a single movement of the wheel. 30 days is that movement. It is the beginning of the turn. It is the moment you stop drifting and start steering. It is the moment you take control of the direction of your life. The final days of the 30-day challenge are special. You have been through the resistance of the first week. You have built some momentum in the second week. You have begun to trust yourself in the third week. Now in the fourth week, you are stepping into a new identity. You are no longer the person who was just trying to survive 30 days. You are the person who has become someone else. Someone who shows up. Someone who finishes. Someone who keeps their word. That is a powerful transformation. And it did not require you to become a superhero. It did not require you to wake up at 4 in the morning and run 10 miles. It required you to make small commitments and honor them. It required you to be gentle with yourself when you stumbled and determined when you rose again. It required you to believe that change is possible, even if you have not seen it in a long time. Now let us get practical. What should you actually do during these 30 days? What commitments should you make? I want to give you some guidance, but I want you to personalize it. These are not rules, they are suggestions. They are starting points. The most important thing is that you choose commitments that matter to you. Choose things that align with your values. Choose things that will make you proud of yourself at the end of 30 days. But be careful not to choose too many. If you try to change everything at once, you will likely change nothing. Choose 2 or 3 commitments, maybe 4 at most. Make them specific, make them measurable, and make them doable. One powerful commitment is waking up with intention. Not waking up and immediately reaching for your phone. Not waking up and hitting the snooze button repeatedly. But waking up and taking control of the first moments of your day. This could mean getting up at a set time. It could mean taking a few minutes to breathe and think about what you want to accomplish. It could mean writing in a journal or reading something meaningful. The way you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start your day reactively, scrolling through notifications and checking messages, you are already giving away your focus before you have even had a chance to decide what matters. But if you start your day intentionally, you are telling yourself that you are in charge. You are telling yourself that your time belongs to you. Another commitment could be movement. You do not have to join a gym or run a marathon. You just have to move your body every day. Walk. Stretch. Do a few push-ups, dance in your kitchen. Just do something that gets your blood flowing and your body awake. Movement is not just about physical health. It is about mental clarity. It is about energy. It is about showing your body that you care about it. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience life. And when you neglect it, you feel that neglect in every area of your life. When you move, you are not just burning calories. You are telling yourself, I am worth the effort. Reading and learning are also powerful commitments. Many of us stopped reading after school. We stopped learning because life got busy. But learning keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you curious. It keeps you connected to the world in a deeper way. Read a book. Listen to something educational. Study something that interests you. It does not have to be heavy or academic. It just has to expand your understanding. When you are learning, you are growing. And when you are growing, you are alive. A commitment to reading for even 15 minutes a day can transform your thinking over 30 days. It accumulates. A few pages a day becomes a book a month. A book a month becomes a library over a few years. That is a profound investment in yourself. Reducing screen time is another commitment that can change everything. Most adults spend hours every day looking at screens. Phones, televisions, computers. These devices are not inherently bad. They connect us to information and people. But they also distract us from ourselves. They fill the spaces where we could be thinking, reflecting, and creating. They pull our attention away from what actually matters. Try committing to a certain amount of screen-free time every day. Put your phone away during meals. Stop checking it before bed. Set boundaries around social media. You will be amazed at how much time you find. You will be amazed at how much clearer your mind becomes. You will be amazed at how much peace you feel. Another area is nutrition. Not extreme dieting, not punishing yourself, but making better choices. Eating foods that fuel your body rather than foods that just fill you. Drinking more water. Paying attention to what you are consuming. This is not about weight loss. It is about energy. It is about mental clarity. It is about treating your body with respect. What you eat affects how you feel, and how you feel affects what you do. If you feel sluggish and heavy, you will act sluggish and heavy. But if you feel light and nourished, you will act light and nourished. Small changes in your diet can make a big difference over 30 days. Sleep is non-negotiable. You cannot be disciplined during the day if you are exhausted. You cannot make good decisions when your brain is tired. You cannot resist temptation when your willpower is depleted. Protecting your sleep is one of the most important things you can do. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Commit to going to bed at a reasonable time. Commit to creating a relaxing evening routine. Put your phone away at least an hour before sleep. Your body and mind need rest to perform at their best. When you respect your sleep, you respect yourself. You are saying, I need to function well, so I will take care of this basic need. Prayer, reflection, or quiet time is another area to consider. Many adults have lost touch with a sense of inner stillness. We are so busy doing that, we forget to be. But there is wisdom in silence. There is clarity in reflection. There is strength in connecting to something larger than yourself. Whether you call it God, the universe, or simply your own deeper self, take time to be still. Reflect on your day. Reflect on your life. Ask yourself difficult questions. Listen for the answers. This is not about religion. It is about spiritual grounding. It is about remembering that you are more than your accomplishments and your problems. You are a human being, and human beings need moments of quiet to stay centered. Managing emotional reactions is a commitment that can change your relationships and your inner peace. Many adults live in a state of reaction. Something happens, and they immediately react. They get angry, frustrated, anxious, or defensive. These reactions are automatic. They happen before you even have time to think. But discipline can help you interrupt these automatic reactions. You can learn to pause. You can take a breath before you speak. You can choose your response rather than being controlled by your emotions. Over 30 days, this practice can transform how you interact with everyone in your life. It can reduce conflict. It can deepen connection. It can give you more peace. This is not about suppressing emotions. It is about responding to them with wisdom rather than impulsiveness. Spending meaningful time with family is also an important commitment. Many adults are physically present with their family, but mentally absent. They are in the same room, but scrolling through their phones. They are at the dinner table, but thinking about work. The days of your life are passing, and the people you love are right there. Give them your full attention. Have real conversations. Put down your devices and look at them. Listen to them. Be with them. Your disciplined presence is a gift. It says that they matter. It says that you are not too busy for them. And in 30 days, you may find that your relationships are stronger, deeper, and more meaningful. Saying no to unnecessary distractions is the final commitment I want to mention. Every adult has a finite amount of energy and attention. When you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. The problem is that many adults say yes to everything. Yes to social invitations they do not want to attend. Yes to projects that drain them. Yes to scrolling through social media for hours. Yes to watching shows they do not even enjoy. And then they wonder why they have no energy for the things that matter. Over the next 30 days, practice saying no. No to what does not serve you. No to what takes you away from your priorities. No to what drains your energy. This is not selfish. This is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your best to what matters if you are constantly giving your leftovers to what does not. Now, what happens if you miss a day? Let us be realistic. Life happens. You might get sick. you might have an emergency. You might just have a day where everything falls apart. When that happens, and it will, do not let it derail your entire 30-day experiment. The most important moment is not the day you missed. The most important moment is the day after. Will you use your missed day as an excuse to quit? Or will you get back up and continue? The answer to that question determines everything. If you quit because of one failure, you are not failing because of the missed day. You are failing because of the story you told yourself about the missed day. You told yourself that you were not good enough. You told yourself that you could not do it. You told yourself that it was not meant to be. But those are just stories. And you can choose to tell yourself a different story. You can say, I missed a day. So what? That does not change my commitment. That does not change who I am becoming. I will show up tomorrow and continue. There is a big difference between someone who fails and gets back up and someone who fails and stays down. The first person succeeds eventually. The second person does not. It is not because the first person is smarter or more talented. It is because the first person refuses to let failure define them. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. Every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has failed along the way. The difference is that they kept going. They did not let their failures become their identity. They used them as lessons, they used them as fuel, and they continued. That is what you must do. Continue, day after day. Miss a day, and continue. Have a bad week, and continue. The 30-day challenge is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It is about refusing to give up on yourself. Let me speak directly to those of you who feel too old for this. Perhaps you are in your late 40s. Perhaps you are in your 50s or 60s. Perhaps you think that too much time has passed. Perhaps you think that you missed your window. That is a heavy burden to carry. The belief that it is too late. The belief that your best days are behind you. I want to challenge that belief. I want to challenge it compassionately but firmly. When you say it is too late, what are you really saying? Are you saying that you cannot improve? Are you saying that you cannot learn? Are you saying that you cannot grow? Because the evidence shows otherwise. People learn new things in their 80s. People start businesses in their 70s. People find love in their 60s. People transform their health in their 50s. The only thing that makes it too late is the belief that it is too late. The only thing that stops you is the story you tell yourself, and you can change that story. Think about the regret you might feel in 10 years if you do not start today. Imagine yourself 10 years older, looking back at today. What would you want yourself to do? Would you want yourself to start? Would you want yourself to take action? Of course you would. You would want yourself to stop waiting. You would want yourself to stop making excuses. You would want yourself to begin. So why not do that for your future self? Why not give your future self the gift of starting today? Your future self will thank you. Your future self will be grateful that you had the courage to begin when you did not feel ready. Your future self will be glad you did not let age become a barrier. Age is not a barrier. Age is just a number. And numbers do not determine what you are capable of. Your mindset determines what you are capable of. Your actions determine what you are capable of. If you choose to act, you are capable of more than you imagine. The people who need this message most are the ones who have been quiet, the ones who have been suffering in silence, the ones who have been watching their lives pass by and feeling powerless to change it. Perhaps you have been carrying a heavy weight. Perhaps you have been feeling stuck. Perhaps you have been feeling like a failure. I want you to hear this. You are not a failure. You have experienced failure. You have made mistakes. You have broken promises, but you are not defined by those things. You are defined by what you choose to do next. And right now, you have the power to choose something different. Right now, you have the power to begin again. Right now, you have the power to give yourself 30 days of discipline. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to. Because you deserve to know what it feels like to keep your word to yourself. Because you deserve to experience the peace that comes from self-trust. Imagine reaching day 30. You wake up in the morning and you feel different. Not because anything magical happened overnight, but because you have been showing up for 30 days. You have been proving to yourself that you can do what you say you will do. You have built a foundation of self-respect. You have created habits that will carry you forward. You have more energy. You have more clarity. You have more confidence. You look in the mirror and you see someone you recognize. Someone who is not perfect. Someone who stumbled along the way. But someone who did not quit. Someone who kept going. Someone who finished. That person is you. And that person is someone you can trust. The external changes may be visible. You might look healthier. You might have accomplished something you had been putting off. You might have saved money or learned something new. But the internal changes are what truly matter. You feel calmer. You feel more in control. You feel more hopeful. You feel like you are no longer at the mercy of your impulses. You feel like you are the author of your own life. That is a profound feeling. That is a feeling worth pursuing. That is a feeling that can change the trajectory of your entire life. And it started with 30 days. 30 days of showing up, 30 days of keeping your word, 30 days of discipline. But let me be clear, this is not the end, this is the beginning. 30 days is just enough to prove to yourself that change is possible. It is just enough to build momentum. It is just enough to create a new identity. After 30 days, you will not want to go back. You will not want to return to the person who always postponed. You will not want to return to the person who broke promises to themselves. You will want to continue. You will want to build on what you have started. You will want to see what else is possible. And that is the beauty of this experiment. It does not end on day 30. It continues into the rest of your life. It becomes a new way of being. It becomes the foundation of everything you do. Think about the decisions you make every single day. Most of them are small. Most of them seem insignificant on their own. But they add up. They accumulate. They create the shape of your life. If you make small, disciplined decisions every day, your life changes. It changes gradually at first, then it changes noticeably, then it changes fundamentally. This is not about a one-time transformation. This is about a daily commitment. This is about showing up for yourself again and again until showing up becomes who you are. That is the power of 30 days. It gives you a taste of what is possible. It gives you the confidence to keep going. It gives you evidence that you are capable of more than you thought. Think about the world around you. Think about all the noise and distraction. Think about all the things competing for your attention. Discipline is the ability to focus on what matters despite all of that. Discipline is the ability to say no to the urgent so you can say yes to the important. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification because you value the long-term reward. These are not easy skills. They take practice. They take patience. They take self-compassion. But they are available to everyone. You do not need special talent. You do not need special circumstances. You just need to start, and you just need to continue. That is the secret. That is the path. That is the way forward. Let me ask you something personal. What is the thing you have been avoiding? What is the project you have been postponing? What is the conversation you have been dreading? What is the habit you have been meaning to change? What is the dream you have been too afraid to pursue? That thing is the key. That thing is the doorway. That thing is where your 30 days should begin. Because the things we avoid are often the things that matter most. The things that scare us are often the things that will grow us. The things we postpone are often the things that will define us. Do not avoid them any longer. Face them. Begin with them. Use your 30 days to take the first step. You do not have to finish everything. You just have to start. You just have to show up. You just have to begin. And here is something to remember. You are not alone in this struggle. Everyone who has ever achieved anything significant has faced resistance. Everyone has doubted themselves. Everyone has felt like giving up. The difference is that they kept going. They did not let their doubts stop them. They did not let their fears paralyze them. They acted anyway. And that is what you must do. Act anyway. Even if you are scared. Even if you are tired. Even if you are not sure you can do it. Act anyway. Because action creates momentum. Action creates confidence. Action creates results. And results create belief. The belief that you can do it. The belief that you are capable. the belief that you are becoming someone new. I want you to imagine something. Imagine a version of yourself that is 30 days into this experiment. Imagine the pride in that person's eyes. Imagine the quiet satisfaction. Imagine the sense of peace. That person is not perfect. That person has not solved every problem, but that person has proven something to themselves. That person has demonstrated strength they did not know they had. That person has built a foundation for the rest of their life. That person is you. Or rather, that person is who you will become if you start today. Not tomorrow, today. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is now. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It does not exist. The only moment you have is this one. And in this moment, you have a choice. You can continue as you have been, or you can choose something different. You can choose discipline. You can choose to keep your word to yourself. You can choose to begin. I want you to think about what 30 days of discipline could mean for your health, for your mind, for your relationships, for your purpose, for your peace. 30 days is a small price to pay for the possibility of a better life. It is a small investment with potentially massive returns. And the returns are not just external, they are internal, they are personal, they are profound. You will not just be better off in 30 days. You will be different. You will think differently. You will feel differently. You will act differently. And that difference will ripple out into every area of your life. It will affect how you treat people. It will affect how you work. It will affect how you spend your free time. It will affect how you talk to yourself. The ripple effects are enormous, and they all start with a single decision. The decision to give yourself 30 days of discipline. Let me talk about the nature of time for a moment. Time is the most precious resource you have. You cannot buy more of it. You cannot earn more of it. You cannot borrow more of it. You can only use it. And when it is gone forever. Many adults reach a point in their lives where they realize they have wasted a lot of time. They look back and see years of procrastination, years of saying tomorrow, years of waiting for something to change. That realization can be painful, but it can also be liberating. Because when you realize you have wasted time, you also realize that you do not want to waste any more. You realize that the time you have left is precious. You realize that you want to use it wisely. That is a powerful realization. That is a turning point. That is the moment you decide to live differently. And that is exactly what this 30-day challenge offers you. It offers you a way to use your time wisely. It offers you a way to honor the time you have left. It offers you a way to make every day count. You do not have to change the world. You just have to change your world. You just have to change the way you show up. You just have to change the way you treat yourself. That is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. Now I want to share a story with you. A story about a woman named Elena. Elena was 52 years old. She had spent most of her adult life putting everyone else first. She was a mother, she was a wife, she was a caretaker, and she was exhausted. She had dreams once. She wanted to write a book. She wanted to travel. She wanted to learn to paint. But she always told herself that there was not enough time. There was always something more important. There was always someone who needed her more. As she approached her 50s, she began to feel a deep sadness. She felt like she had disappeared. She felt like the person she used to be was gone. She looked in the mirror and did not recognize herself. She was tired, not just physically, but spiritually. She had given so much of herself away that there was almost nothing left. One day, she read something that changed her. It was a simple sentence: "You cannot pour from an empty cup." It struck her deeply. She realized that she had been pouring from an empty cup for years. She realized that she had nothing left to give because she had given everything away. And she realized that if she wanted to be there for the people she loved, she needed to fill her own cup first. That was the beginning of her transformation. She decided to give herself 30 days. Not 30 days of radical change, but 30 days of small commitments. She committed to walking for 20 minutes every morning. She committed to writing for 10 minutes every evening. She committed to sitting in silence for 5 minutes before bed. That was it. Nothing extreme, nothing overwhelming, just 3 small commitments. The first week was hard. She felt selfish. She felt guilty for taking time for herself. She felt like she was abandoning her responsibilities. But she kept going. She told herself that 30 days was not a lifetime. She told herself that she deserved this. By the second week, something shifted. She began to look forward to her morning walks. She began to feel a sense of peace during her evening writing. She began to sleep better. She began to feel more patient with her family. She began to feel like she was coming back to life. By the third week, she noticed that she was not just doing these commitments. She was becoming someone who did them. She was becoming someone who valued herself. She was becoming someone who made time for her own well-being. On day 30, Elena sat down and looked back at the previous month. She had not written a book. She had not traveled. She had not learned to paint. But something had changed. She had changed. She felt calmer. She felt stronger. She felt more alive. She felt like she was finally taking care of herself. And she realized that the 30 days were not the end, they were the beginning. She decided to continue. She decided to build on the foundation she had created. And over the following months, she began to write more. She began to make plans to travel. She began to explore painting. But most importantly, she began to trust herself again. She began to believe that she was worthy of her own time. She began to believe that she mattered, and that belief changed everything. Elena's story is not unique. It is the story of countless adults who have given themselves permission to begin again. It is the story of people who realize that it is never too late to change. It is the story of people who understood that small commitments lead to big transformations. And it can be your story too. You do not have to wait until you feel ready. You do not have to wait until you have more time. You do not have to wait until the circumstances are perfect. You just have to begin. You just have to give yourself 30 days. 30 days of showing up. 30 days of keeping your word. 30 days of becoming someone you trust. Let me tell you another story. This one is about a man named Marcus. Marcus was 47. He had a good job. He had a family. He had a house. By all external measures, he was successful. But inside, he felt empty. He felt like he was going through the motions. He felt like he was just surviving. He had always wanted to start his own business. He had always wanted to create something of his own. But he told himself he was too old. He told himself he had too many responsibilities. He told himself that it was too risky. So he kept doing what he had always done. He kept going to a job that did not fulfill him. He kept ignoring the quiet voice that told him he was meant for more. One evening, he was sitting in his car in the driveway. He was not ready to go inside. He was not ready to face another evening of television and distraction. He sat there and asked himself a question. If I could do anything, what would I do? The answer came immediately. He wanted to start a small business. He wanted to help people in some way. He wanted to create something that mattered. But the old fears came rushing back. Too old, too risky, too late. And then he had another thought. What if he just gave himself 30 days? What if he just spent 30 days working on his idea? Not quitting his job, not risking everything, just dedicating a small amount of time every day to his dream. 30 days. That seemed manageable. That seemed safe. That seemed possible. So he began. He committed to spending 30 minutes every evening working on his business idea. No pressure, no expectations, just 30 minutes. The first week was difficult. He was tired after work. He wanted to relax, but he forced himself to sit down and work. He researched. He wrote down ideas. He made a simple plan. By the second week, he was looking forward to his 30 minutes. It was becoming a highlight of his day. By the third week, he had a clear vision of what he wanted to create. He had a name. He had a direction. He had excitement. On day 30, he did not have a business. But he had something more important. He had proof that he could do it. He had proof that he was not too old. He had proof that his dream was not dead, and he decided to continue. He decided to keep building, and a year later, he was running his own business. Not because he took a huge risk, but because he took a small step, and then another small step, and then another. 30 days led to a year led to a new life. That is the power of 30 days. It is not about achieving everything in a month. It is about proving to yourself that you can achieve something. It is about building the confidence to keep going. It is about breaking the paralysis of inaction. Once you start, you realize you can continue. Once you prove you can do 30 days, you can do 60. Once you prove you can do 60, you can do a year. Once you prove you can do a year, the possibilities are endless. It all starts with 30 days. It all starts with a decision. It all starts with showing up. Let us reflect on the deeper meaning of discipline. Discipline is not just about getting things done. It is about becoming the person you want to be. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. If you repeatedly choose ease over effort, you are voting for a person who cannot do hard things. If you repeatedly choose distraction over focus, you are voting for a person who cannot concentrate. If you repeatedly choose comfort over growth, you are voting for a person who stays stuck. But if you repeatedly choose discipline, you are voting for a person who is strong. You are voting for a person who is capable. You are voting for a person who can be trusted. And after 30 days of discipline, you will have cast 30 votes for that person. That is a powerful thing. That is how identities are formed. Not through grand declarations, but through daily actions. This is why the 30 days matter so much. They are not just days on a calendar. They are votes. They are deposits. They are building blocks. Each day you show up is another brick in the foundation of your new identity. And after 30 days, that foundation is strong enough to support the rest of your life. You are not just experimenting anymore. You are building. You are creating. You are becoming. And once you have become someone who keeps their word, you will never want to go back. You will not want to be the person who breaks promises to themselves. You will not want to be the person who always postpones. You will not want to be the person who lives in regret. You will want to be the person who shows up, the person who finishes, the person who is disciplined. And that is who you will become. Let me talk about the relationship between discipline and peace. Many people think that discipline is stressful. They think it is about forcing yourself to do things you do not want to do. But real discipline actually brings peace. When you are disciplined, you are no longer at war with yourself. You are no longer constantly negotiating. You are no longer feeling guilty about what you should be doing. You just do what you said you would do. There is a simplicity to it. There is a calmness. You are not fighting yourself. You are working with yourself. You are aligned. Your actions match your intentions. And when your actions match your intentions, there is peace. The chaos of procrastination disappears. The anxiety of unfinished tasks disappears. The shame of broken promises disappears. In their place is a quiet confidence. A knowing that you can rely on yourself. A peace that comes from integrity. Discipline is also a form of self-respect. When you break a promise to yourself, you are disrespecting yourself. You are saying that your own word does not matter. You are saying that your own goals do not matter. You are saying that you do not matter. That is a painful thing to realize. Many adults live with this subtle but constant feeling of self-disrespect. They do not even know it is there. They just feel tired. They just feel unmotivated. They just feel stuck. But the root is often a lack of self-respect, a lack of trust, a lack of belief that they can follow through. And the cure is simple. It is not easy, but it is simple. Keep your word to yourself. Start small. Build trust. Show yourself that you matter. That is what discipline does. It restores your self-respect. It restores your trust. It restores your belief in yourself. Now let us return to the idea that 30 days is not enough. I want to address that thought directly. If you are thinking 30 days is too short to matter, I want to challenge you. Think about the compound effect of small changes. A small change repeated over 30 days is not a small change. It is a significant change. 1 minute of deep breathing a day is 30 minutes of deep breathing a month. That is enough to reduce stress. 1 page of reading a day is 30 pages a month. That is enough to finish a short book. $1 saved a day is $30 a month. That is a start. 1 minute of exercise a day is 30 minutes a month. It adds up. The compound effect is real. Small actions repeated over time lead to big results. 30 days is enough to see that effect. 30 days is enough to build momentum. 30 days is enough to change your trajectory. The problem is not that 30 days is too short. The problem is that many people never start at all. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for more motivation. They wait for a sign, and they wait forever. The 30-day challenge is not about the 30 days. It is about the decision to start. It is about the decision to stop waiting. It is about the decision to take action. That decision is what matters most. Once you make that decision, everything else becomes possible. So do not dismiss 30 days as too short. Embrace it as the perfect starting point. It is long enough to see changes. It is short enough to be manageable. It is exactly what you need. Let us talk about the final days of your 30-day journey. If you are in the middle of your challenge right now, keep going. If you are thinking about starting, begin today. There is power in the final stretch. There is power in knowing you are almost there. There is power in looking back at what you have already accomplished. You have already done more than you thought you could. You have already proven something to yourself. You have already built momentum. Do not stop now. Finish strong. Finish with pride. Finish knowing that you did what you said you would do. That feeling is worth more than anything else. That feeling is your reward. That feeling is what will carry you forward into the next 30 days and beyond. And if you have not started yet, I want to say something directly to you. You already know what you need to do. You have known for a long time. You have read articles. You have watched videos. You have listened to podcasts. You have all the information you need. The only thing missing is action. The only thing missing is you showing up. You do not need more knowledge. You need more discipline. You need to stop learning about change and start changing. You need to stop planning and start doing. You need to stop waiting and start moving. Right now, today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Give yourself 30 days. That is all I am asking. That is all you need to ask of yourself. 30 days, 1 month, a single month of showing up. That is the beginning of a new life. Let me end with a final reflection. Life is short. You know this. You feel it when you look at your children and see how fast they have grown. You feel it when you look in the mirror and see the years that have passed. You feel it when you think about the things you have not yet done. The time is passing. It is passing for all of us. And the question is not whether time will pass. It will. The question is what you will do with the time that is passing. Will you waste it? Will you postpone? Will you tell yourself that you will start tomorrow? Or will you take action? Will you give yourself 30 days of discipline? Will you show up for yourself? Will you prove that you can be trusted? That is the question, and you are the only one who can answer it. I believe in you. I believe that you are capable of more than you think. I believe that you have strength you have not yet tapped. I believe that you can change your life, not because you are special, but because you are human. And humans are capable of growth. Humans are capable of change. Humans are capable of discipline. You have that capacity within you. It has always been there. It has just been buried under doubt and fear and procrastination. You can unearth it. You can reclaim it. You can use it. You can begin today. Give yourself 30 days. Watch what happens. You might be surprised. You might be amazed. You might find that the person you have been waiting for has been there all along, waiting for you to stop waiting, waiting for you to start, waiting for you to be disciplined. My dear friend, your life is not over. Your best days are not behind you. Your dreams are not dead. They are just waiting, waiting for you to act, waiting for you to show up, waiting for you to give them 30 days. You have so much more to give. You have so much more to become. You have so much more to live. Do not let another year pass. Do not let another decade slip away. Begin today. Begin now. Give yourself 30 days of discipline and watch what happens. Watch yourself transform. Watch yourself grow. Watch yourself become someone you can trust. That is the gift you give yourself. That is the gift that keeps giving. That is the gift of discipline. Do it for yourself. Do it because you deserve it. Do it because you are worth it. Do it because 30 days from now you will thank yourself. Do it because you can. Do it because you must. Do it because the person you are becoming is counting on you. Show up. Start today. Give yourself 30 days of discipline and watch what happens. Watch your life change. Watch your spirit rise. Watch your heart open. Watch yourself become everything you were always meant to be. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So take the first step right now and do not look back. Your future self is waiting and they are ready for you to begin.